Come, I say, come, let we build a nation together. We must become nation builders, not destabilizers, not just being a critic. You can criticize, but you can also offer solutions. You can criticize constructively because you want good for Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. I want to welcome you to the hub. And again, I want to say to you that we have a unique opportunity to converse, to talk, to discuss. I want to encourage those on Facebook and on YouTube to please share the live. I want to say good evening to those who are listening to me on Vibes 101.3 FM and 106.3 FM. I want to start off by saying I have been on this journey for more than a decade. Before being on this journey or starting this journey, I worked at the National Disaster Management Agency for almost 5 years. Before that, I also worked at the Housing Authority of Grenada for almost 3 or 4 years. I also worked in St. John with the government of Grenada as the community program officer, as the housing officer, and a number of other roles. So I have been out here for quite a while. I am not new to this. I am not a novice. And I am also cognizant of my responsibility while on air, because I broadcast concurrently on radio, on YouTube, and on Facebook. And I think great many people who just come in this field should also be responsible. So while you have a mic and a platform, and you believe you can just go on a program and slander people and get away with it, not Kem Jones. I also must tell you that I have been appraising myself with the law, with what the whole legal realm speaks to. That is why I was able to drag WeFM and Patrick Shaggy Duncan, who host the Plead Your Cause program before the legal system. And we know what that result yield. What was the result of that? Weeks of apology. They had to compensate my lawyers, and I did not pursue money from them. But this time round, I can tell you, I shall pursue money from that particular individual. All right? I listened his statements, his slanderous statements on your humble servant, and I will advance litigation on that particular individual so he can ready himself for such legal showdown. If you believe what you said is factual, you need to back it up. You need to back it up. So very soon, you shall hear from my lawyers on this particular one. So yes, you have the freedom to speak. You have the freedom to say certain things. But you must also know that there are consequences when you say things that are fallacious, that are slanderous, that are damaging to a person's good name and character. So, that is all I will say. In the coming months, well, weeks and months, you will know more about this particular matter. So, Mr. Prince James, you shall hear from my attorneys very, very soon. It might be as soon as this week, or next week, or the other week, or the other week. Because to prepare pre-action letters, it do take some time. So again, I thought it was necessary for me to say what I just said to you tonight. I have been in this business for the last decade and more. I am not new to this. I am not. That is why I'm still standing. I'm still here standing because I know when I speak on this program, I know what I say. I have the facts to substantiate it. And I normally speak using certain terms so as to protect the program and the radio station. So, I want to end by saying, sometimes when you get vexed, drink some water. When you get uptight, drink some water. When you get pissed, drink some water. Don't go and take it out on your platform because it would land you into real problems. All right? Take some time, go back and listen to that program you did today. All right? Take some time when you sober up yourself in terms of your thought, your trend of thought. Take some time and go back and listen to yourself. And you would realize that you slandered me on umpteen occasions. And you have inflicted serious damage to my good name and character. As a result, I think I have the right to seek redress. I think I have the right to advance legal action against you to gain or regain my good standing in society and my good name in society. It is important. Very, very important. Folks, let's get into the meat of tonight's conversation. I want to start off by saying, yes, you have freedom to speak. But when you speak, you must never be inciting violence in any shape or form, and make it even worse, not just on an individual, but communities and islands and country. You have crossed the line. I happened to listen to Ziggy. It's a guy who was seen at the New National Party General Council. This is the second most important gathering for any political party. So Ziggy was given a hero's welcome, more or less, at that particular event.
I need not say nothing. We stand for democracy. We stand for democracy. When their surrogates was saying all kind of nasty things, they had no problem. We never arrest nobody. We never arrest nobody. Allow people to speak. Allow people to speak, brothers and sisters.
That's the Honorable Nolan Cox. That was at the General Council of the New National Party. He was insinuating, inferring that this Ziggy guy, who you saw there, was arrested for political reasons. All right? That is what I gathered from his statement. Right? So he was insinuating, inferring that this guy was arrested because, he's a political pundit or somebody doing some program, and the government is not pleased with that. And as a result, this is what occurred. That is what I gathered from his statement, in my belief. But that, I must tell you, was not the case. If that is what you got from his statement, if that was the conclusion you came to with that statement he made, Ziggy was not arrested because he is some political guy or some opponent or so, right? And he's saying certain things about the government, and the government is not pleased, and then they acted. No. This guy was arrested for a crime that the police alleged he did. And they gathered the evidence, they investigated, and they were looking for him to arrest him. He then surfaced and he was arrested. And by now, great many people know why he was arrested. So it has nothing to do with him being out there as somebody advocating for change or speaking for the opposition forces coming up against government. And no, it had nothing to do with that. It's alleged that this guy had a vehicle, and whoever the vehicle belonged to, he drove that vehicle, and a number of vehicles got damaged. All right? And the police investigated, and as a result, they charged the guy. All right? So, again, that's important. But he was at the New National Party General Council meeting. And again, for the people who don't know the individual, I want to show you again the individual. So, you see Keith Mitchell there? That's Keith Mitchell. That's Keith Mitchell. That's Roland Bowler. Roland Bowler, Oliver Joseph, Keith Mitchell, Gregory Bowen, Emlyn Pay, Peter David, Clarice Modeste, Kate Lewis, the whole works, Nimrod Oliver, Dwight Hossford. I mean, the whole works, they were there on the stage. And Keith Mitchell was very pleased when this guy stood up and, started with his showbiz personality. And Nolan Cox was at the platform, at the podium, speaking.
I need not say nothing. We stand for democracy.
So that's the guy. That's the guy there. That's Ziggy. That's Ziggy. All right. That's the guy. That's him.
We stand for democracy. When their surrogates was saying all kind of nasty things, they had no problem. We never arrest nobody. We never arrest nobody.
Right. So that's the guy giving a high five to Nolan Cox and so on. He embraced the hug. Sheldon Scott earlier, the Rasta or whatever he be there. So again, just showing you that's the guy. That's the Ziggy. That's right? So Ziggy only recently did a program on his platform. And after that, he did about one or two after that, because I did a program about it this morning. So again, some fire engulfed the that site where they're storing stuff, the debris and other things like that in Carriacou. All right. So a fire broke out there. Just giving you a little insight on it. Right.
They blocked the road the other day. They come on the button and they block again.
Right. So that's the fire. That's a lady. They're a resident narrating the whole thing, talking about it. It happened before they blocked the road or so. Right?
They're gonna come when he come down.
Right? So plenty fire.
So what they do now? They block the road the other day, put all the fish in the road.
Right.
And block the road.
So
now
she's saying that they blocked the road the other day. They put all the fish in the road again. And now they do it again. But now with the fire. All right? So a resident speaking about it. So that's one person. Another angle to it, we saw another person doing a narration. All right? Talking about it too, explaining certain things. So another person spoke about it.
Harveyville playing field. Somebody set the place on fire, blocked the public road. All from the port, they blocked the road as well. They managed to put out the machine safely. Fire brigade just come back with more water.
So that's Harveyville playing field. The person there speaking, narrating, spoke about the Harveyville playing field. All right, on fire. Then Ziggy, the same guy who was at the New National Party General Council meeting, the same guy spoke. He had a program and he said the following.
As I go see Carriacou on fire, the playing field on fire. I tell all you, anytime I open my mouth and say something, that will happen. With no start. They just have a real playing field, tongue next, and then Dover next, and then the whole of Carriacou is fire. I'm warning all you. This government, they don't know what they're about. They don't understand.
Right. So that's the guy, Ziggy. He then came and he did his program and he spoke. Again, I will play it for you so you can hear it properly. All right? Because I want you to hear it properly. Ziggy, who was at the New National Party General Council meeting, he then had this program on his platform on Facebook, and he made this statement. Right?
As I go see Carriacou on fire, the plain field on fire. I tell all you, anytime I open my mouth and say something that will happen. With no start. They just have a real plain field, tongue next.
Right?
And then do my neck.
So this guy is now stating the place on fire. And then he went on, Ziggy went on to say tongue necks. And I think he said Dover necks. I am not too familiar with the names in Carriacou, the different villages. All right? But he's very specific. He said tongue necks. And I want to assume when he says tongue, he's speaking about Hillsborough. He went on to say Dover necks.
And then the whole of Carriacou.
And then the whole of Carriacou.
What you know, as I go see Carriacou on fire, the plain field on fire. I tell all you, anytime I open my mouth and say something that will happen. With no start. They just have a real plain.
Right? And he said, we now start. So again, you have to be very careful. This guy used a personal pronoun. He said, we now start. We, a personal pronoun. And we is also more than one. We. He didn't say I. He didn't say he. He didn't say, anything else. He said we. Again, his words, not mine.
As I go see Carriacou on fire, the plain field on fire. I tell all you, anytime I open my mouth and say something that will happen. With no start.
We now start. I didn't say that. Ziggy said so. Emerson, Ziggy, Edmond said so. He said we. That's very important. So it means more than one.
They just have a real plain field.
And then he went on to say, that is just Harveyville plain field. And he said, tongue necks. He said, tongue necks.
With no start. They just have a real plain field. Tongue necks.
Tongue necks. And I want to assume when he says tongue, he's referring to Hillsborough. Because Carriacou, the tongue of Carriacou is Hillsborough.
And then Dover necks.
And he went on further to say Dover necks.
And then the whole of Carriacou.
And then Ziggy says the whole of Carriacou. This man is talking about fire. He is speaking about fire. But remember, Ziggy was at the new National Party General Council, a political party here in the state of Grenada. This is the same party who is out there now with the zonal meetings and saying publicly that they're coming back to rescue. Some rescue mission start. But here you have Ziggy, who attended the new National Party General Council meeting, the second most important meeting for any political organization in the state of Grenada, at least. Let's look at Grenada. So the NDC had the General Council meeting yesterday at the Westall Secondary School. And they set a date for the convention, March the 2nd, 2025. That is how important your General Council is. So here you have Ziggy, who attended the new National Party's General Council in the presence of Keith Mitchell, Gregory Bowen, Bowler, Roland Bowler, Dwight Hosford, and the whole works. Oliver Joseph and son. Right there, yes, at the General Council. This guy did a program after the fire. All right. So I showed you evidence. There was a fire in Carriacou, and a serious one indeed. A very
They block the
serious,
road the other day, they come and
serious
the
fire.
burn and the black again.
Very serious. Very, very serious. All right. Very, very serious. That's the fire there. All right. And remember, Carriacou
They're
always
gonna come when
had
he come down.
a problem with water and make it worse
So what they do now?
post burial. So that's the fire. And this guy did a program. Ziggy did a program. And Ziggy said the following after this fire.
As I go see can go on fire, the plane fail on fire. I tell all you, anytime I open my mouth and say something that will happen. With no start. I just have a real plane field, tongue next, and then do my next, and then the whole I can go. It's fire at warning all you. This government, they don't know what they're about. They don't understand.
Right. So that's Ziggy, right? That is Ziggy. I want you to understand that even if you have freedom to speak, it comes with a certain level of responsibility. Very important. You cannot just take a mic or use your platform to incite violence or to cause people to do certain things. I am saying you have to be responsible. Grenada is our home. Carriacou is our home. PT Martinique is our home. This is the state of Grenada, which includes Carriacou and the PT Martinique. And if you are patriotic, if you love your homeland, you will never wish bad on Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. Or you would never involve yourself in anything negative or anything bad to hurt Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. You would never do that. Never. So I am simply saying again, it's a cause for concern. It is a cause for concern. And I think the new National Party should come publicly and condemn the statements made by this guy and distance itself from this individual. Because the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique can recall vividly and with the kind of evidence, the kind of proof on the table, they can reflect. They can retrospect, or in retrospect, just looking back, reflecting, they see Ziggy at the new National Party's convention. Sorry, not convention, a general council. Right? So they see Ziggy at the new National Party General Council. That is what people see. This guy is associated with the new National Party to a certain extent. That's where he was. But let's look at the broader picture, because we have to put this thing in context, you know. You have to put this thing in context. I often say on this program, the opposition forces, they want to see this country on its knees. They want to cripple it. They want bad things to befall Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, in my belief. And they are not standing and waiting for bad things to happen. I believe they are aiding and abetting it. In some instances, the opposition forces, they're involved. They're involving themselves to disrupt, to derail, to damage, to destroy. That is what they're actually doing, to sabotage, to undermine, to discourage. That is what they're involved in. Because their quest is to see Grenada on its knees, and they will easily waltz their way back in power or get in power. It's scary because we all have children, and children, as we would say, grandchildren and great-grandchildren. We want good for this place because we want our children and children to benefit, to inherit a better Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. That is what we want. Who is this person there? Hello? Hello?
Hello, I want to talk to Kim Jones.
You want to talk to Kim Jones? But your radio is on. You have to lower down the volume of your radio. Can you lower down the volume of your radio? Lower down the volume of your radio. Can you reduce the volume of your radio?
Okay,
You did that? Right. So go ahead now, caller.
I want to talk to Kim Jones.
Yeah, you're actually speaking to Kim Jones.
Hello?
So-
Hello, Kim Jones?
Yes, can you lower the volume of your radio?
My brother.
Can you lower the
I'll do
volume?
that for you, my
Yes,
brother.
please. Yes, please. All right.
I'm doing that now.
Nice.
I'm talking to you now.
No problem. Proceed.
Kim Jones?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Can you proceed, please?
I'll lower down the volume and I...
Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah, I
You
did that. I'll lower down the
have
volume.
a phone conversation with me. I am hearing
Hello?
you. Yes, go ahead, please, caller.
Kim Jones?
Yes, sir.
Yes, can you lower the volume?
Well, I'll
Alright.
lower it down.
Yes, well, go ahead and speak.
Turn it off. I'll turn it off.
Yes, please.
Kim Jones?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
I can't get him.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello.
You hearing me?
Yes.
I'm hearing you. Can you proceed?
I'll lower down the volume and I...
Yeah, but
Right. Okay. Have a good night. Take good care.
conversation with me.
All right. I want to phone conversation with you.
Yes.
You must careful what you're saying with people, you know. Because when you're saying things, you just like the man you're dealing with. You just want to think people, you know. You have to be careful what you're saying. You don't put people against people, you know. You're a good man, you know what I mean? Be careful what you're saying. All right?
Yes.
You hear me, Kim Jones?
Have a good night.
Are you finished?
Have a good night, you boss. Be careful what you're saying.
You finished?
Okay.
All right. So thank you very much, dear caller, for your contribution. The line, I did not open it as yet, but thank you very much for your contribution. All right. Someone, well, maybe I need to open the line now. Good evening, caller. Good evening.
Could I speak to you off air, please?
No, you cannot, because I am
When
doing.
you finish it-
I'm doing video, and I'm doing audio, meaning radio. So if you have to speak to me, you have to speak to me live.
Okay, well, I need to talk to someone, but I cannot speak to the.
What do you want to speak to me about?
A matter, I have an important matter.
Okay. Well, you
I
can.
need to speak to you
Uh,
privately about it.
Okay. Well, no problem. You can speak to me after the program or tomorrow, God's will.
Okay, you have a blessed
can,
night.
yes, and you can call the same number. All right.
Yes, okay.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
All right. Thank you very much for the understanding. Again, the number is 415 4817. 415-4817, and you are free to call 415-4817. I am mature enough to understand that there are a lot of people out there with different opinions, different viewpoints, and their tone might be different, their gesticulation, their dress. I have been here long enough to appreciate that. So things don't move me. So again, I want to give you the latitude to speak. If you want to speak about anything, you can. The number again, 415-4817. You can call me via WhatsApp on that same number. But if you're overseas, you have to add 1473, then the number 415-4817. So you're free to talk. I want to continue. I am simply saying, if you follow the opposition forces over the many years, you would realize that they have been very negative towards every single thing that the government does. Good evening, caller. You're live.
Yeah, good night, Kim.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Not bad. Yeah, I just want to make a point there. The man was at the General Council, and to me, he was welcome at the General Council meeting. Just want to make that point.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, there, caller. Good evening, caller. You're live. Good evening.
Yes, Kim. Good.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Night, Kim.
Hi. Good night.
Yes. Kim, I would like to talk with you some more people on that same number already.
Right. No problem.
443-9507.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you about something very serious, okay?
No problem. All right.
Yes, brother.
Nice.
So you have a good night and thanks again, huh?
Thank you. Yes, right, no problem. Again, the number is 415-4817. 415-4817. You are free to talk. And rain is falling heavy on my rooftop. I want to say, again, going back to where I left off before the calls started coming in, the opposition forces, they have been very, very negative when it comes to this government. And they have become desperate too. Not just negative, but desperate, hungry for power. And it comes across as though they will do anything to get power. Right? And that must be concerning. I don't think anyone should engage in illegal acts to get into power. I don't think anyone who loves this country of ours should do anything against, the people and the country to get into power. I don't think that's wrong. I think it's wrong. But we have seen a pattern over the many years. Every single thing that this government does, the opposition forces, they have been very negative about it, condemn it, criticize it. And I can give you a litany of those stuff that they have been criticizing and condemning. You have workers working in the public service for plenty years. Let's take that call. Good evening, caller. You're alive.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, I'm there. I'm hearing you saying good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, I'm right here.
Yeah, please proceed. You call back again?
Yeah, call back.
Yeah, well, this program is not one to entertain one person calling back on plenty
of occasions.
Because
I didn't get a chance to talk,
Oh, you want to speak again? Go ahead.
Yeah, as you were saying about how the opposition is doing a lot to derail the government, and I support you 100%.
All right.
Because when I look at it, if we look at the past, how much money that this government let con men and crooks and things come and take from us. Look how much Keith Mitchell had the administration, how the administration had them teachers and them walk in the street protesting for the money. And look, this government came in and they settled the score. They give them almost $72 million, teachers and public workers and so forth. And look, Tam City have a little program, a short delay in medical things are incoming for them. They're ready to put up placard and protest and say 10 years. And look, they just started, they can't get medical things for the start the classes. I find, and people should wake up in that, look in Karaku. They set them fire in dump and kind of thing. What sense that make? Everything, I realize everything this government will within the 3 years of making, the Keith Mitchell administration is doing a lot of the real, not administration. The Keith Mitchell and the gang of crooks and the so-called broadcasters and them on the FM station, they're doing a very lot to destabilize the growth of this country. And if Canadians don't wake up and come to the senses and avoid listening to these people, don't let them bring them the wrong way. Bye, good night, and all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, dear caller. Thank you very much, and thank you for calling back. Yes, that's the same caller there. Thank you very much indeed. All right. Thank you very much for your contribution. Again, the number is 415-4817, 415-4817. Yes, that's the same caller. All right. And I thank him very much for his contribution. Again, the number 415-4817. I can see the numbers here as they call. Some people may use their landline, some may use their cell phone, but I can see it here because of the system that I use. The number again is 415-4817, 415-4817. So getting back to the substantive point that I was making, if you check it out, you have workers within the public service. They were hired on contract, some fixed contract. A lot of them retired, yes, with no pension, no gratuity. Some still in the service, I think 3,672 of them, without any pension when they retire. This government decided they would do something about it to help these people. All right? But the opposition forces, they are out there criticizing, condemning the government for trying to help these workers. They were working when NNP, for example, was in power, the NNP administration, for 20-something years. The NNP did nothing to help these people. So the NDC is in power now, and they're trying to help these people, which is commendable, if you ask me. Good evening, caller. Good evening, caller.
Hi, Kim Jones.
Yeah, good evening.
How are you doing, boss?
I'm fine, thanks. And you?
I'm good. Kim, I think... Yeah.
Yeah, proceed.
I think what the opposition is doing, what Keith Mitchell, that's how I describe him. What Keith Mitchell is doing, I think Grenadians should be smart enough. They expose enough. The new administration is teaching Grenadians to an extent where they should learn. So they should be smart enough. So those short practice that Keith Mitchell practicing with Grenadians, I don't think he should catch Grenadians again. Those days he could have catch Grenadians is when a lot of stuff wasn't to the exposure, like the smartphone and those kind of things. This is not in the 70s. I think Grenadians should wake up, smell the coffee, and tell Keith Mitchell he had enough of the nonsense with Grenadians, and it's time for we to move forward, open our eyes and move forward. The dunceness, we tired with the dunceness and the foolishness. We have a prime minister that is intelligent. We have a group of people that love Grenada and want to see Grenada go forward. Keith Mitchell squander Grenada. He treat Grenada like foul in the yard. giving people little bit of con, every little minute to keep them around. And they ain't getting no con to be satisfied. They're just getting con to keep them in the yard. We tired with that. And I hope a lot of Grenadians tired with that nonsense and wake up and smell the coffee. Good night, Kem Jones.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, dear caller. Thank you very much indeed. Again, the number 415-4817. 415-4817. You can call me via WhatsApp or you can call me straight. 415-4817. And look, we are in 2024. And information is so easy to access with technology. And our people are becoming more involved in current affairs. We are following what's happening within our space more. All right? So we cannot be easily tricked. And we have more Grenadians who are conscious-minded, who are logical in their thinking. Good evening, caller. You're alive.
Yeah. I want to make a contribution. This thing what's going on there is not surprising, to me personally.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've been following this party for years, and that's the way they do things. They call it a deployment. I those who the activists. They call them he's part of the activist group to destabilize, to break people, to make them submit. You understand? So this thing is not a surprising thing to me. So I think this government has to step up security in all the, because these people are in the desperate, to destabilize. As you said, they're real desperate and they'll do anything. And like that, those people who doing it, they set, you know what I mean? They have this mindset. No matter what you say to them, because those people who destitute too, they never make no progress. I even follow most of their supporters. For years, they stay in one. They might get some thing to build to fix the roof or to fix the house and that. But not them, they won't make much progress. So they're dependent on this party. So they'll do anything. So I think our government has to improve on the security in our government departments. They have to strengthen that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
That's it.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you very much. We had another caller calling in while you were speaking, making your contribution. So, caller, you can call back. Again, the number 1473-415-4817. 1473-415-4817. So, this government is trying its best to help our people. But we have the opposition forces condemning, criticizing, just being negative to every single thing. Every single thing. The pension, they were against it. The bi-monthly salary, they were against it. The cess grant, they were against it. The free tuition, they were against it. And we can go on and on and on. Good evening, caller, you're alive.
Hello?
Good evening, you're alive. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Regarding that gentleman that spoke about the fire in Carriacou, in my opinion, I think that gentleman should be arrested for making a terrorist threat, brought in for questioning, and see what they can find out from him. That's absolutely a terrorist threat. You can't be speaking like that about Carriacou and fire, and then Hillsborough next, and then Dover. Where does he get his information from? How does he know? How does he know that? The police should find out. How does he know? They got to bring him in for questioning, in my opinion, and try to find out as much as they can from him. What does he know and from whom he's getting his information? That's my contribution for tonight, Cam.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, dear caller. Thank you very much indeed. Again, the number 415-4817, 415-4817. And then you look at, the payout to farmers. Again, the opposition forces condemn that. You look at the regularization of public officers, 404 to date. Again, the opposition condemn that. the free hot meal, well, the hot meal program, in the schools. Again, the opposition condemned that. Let's take that call. Good evening, caller.
Hi, Cam.
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm Dylan, hanging in.
Wonderful.
Hanging in. Yeah. I noted something down today because I looked at the program this morning about 5 times because I just felt it was like a dream, and I think that's something you should take into note if you have to speak to any one of the people on our side. Because when the guy mentioned the different places next, if you recall, he also said, and I quote, anytime I open my mouth, is that going to happen? And that's a very, 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 very serious statement. So I think that you guys should take some note into that and look into it if anything like that happen again. That's all I have to say
Thank
for
you
now.
very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, there, caller. Thank you very much indeed. Again, the number 415-4817, 415-4817. So you look at the many programs, many initiatives of this government that they condemn, that they criticize the opposition forces. They just don't want anything good to happen in this place called home. You have the modern bathroom, indoor bathroom and toilet facility, the wash program. So many families are moving from latrine to outdoor toilet to indoor modern bathroom and toilet facility. Good evening, caller. You're live.
Hi, Mr. Ken Jones. Good night, man.
Yeah, good night.
It's first time I'm calling. First time I'm calling on your program.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that this guy is a terrorist and insinuating, as I see things like threats of death, because the way he came across with that information, obviously people can be implicated, people can get hurt, and it's a real serious statement that this guy have made. And I think he should be locked up in prison immediately without bail, because you're talking about putting a lot of people's lives at risk. So this is my observation, and I really hope that the police force would deal with this guy serious. We can't have guys like these, in our country at this point in time, or even in the future, doing this kind of nonsense. It's just unacceptable. Thank you, sir, for listening to me.
All right. Thank you very much, dear caller. Thank you very much. Well, I am not in a position to call him a terrorist. I am not in law enforcement. So I want to leave that up to law enforcement to thoroughly investigate and conclude and share with the public their conclusion. So again, I want to thank you, caller, for your contribution, and thank you for calling for the first time. We really appreciate it. And I think he needs to be investigated. And based on my layman's view, what he said is tantamount, in my belief, to inciting violence, anarchy in this country, and causing harm, intent to cause harm to mass population. That's just my conclusion. That's just my belief. Again, I leave it up to law enforcement. All right. So thank you very much, there, caller, for your contribution. Really appreciate it. So if you look at the pattern, the amount of good things that this government, this NDC administration did, and the opposition forces just keep condemning, criticizing, being negative to every single thing, even our 50th independence celebration. They were very critical, very negative. In fact, they never participated when they were called upon to. They just don't want anything good for Grenada. They want bad things to befall our country. And we must say no to this, because we want good for our children and our children's children. I want a better Grenada for my children and their children and I bless their womb. They will make children, and I want good for my children, and I want good for your children and children. So we have to be patriotic. But I am seeing a movement to destabilize, a movement to undermine this democracy and drive it into anarchy and chaos, to disrupt, to do anything that they can to derail, to destroy, to dismantle, to discourage. That is what they're accustomed to. So again, we have to understand that this government did so many good things over the many years. And this opposition forces in the country, they're all about destabilizing. They condemn, they criticize the 13% increase for public officers because the public officers never went in the streets and demonstrated and protested. They condemn that too. They condemn the Build Back Better initiative. They condemn that too, right? So I'm saying, folks, what I do know, our Grenadian brothers and sisters have found or discovered this renewed sense of patriotism and love for country, service for country. We want good for this place, and we are working towards that. And I want to commend us, all of us, on that path. But I want to wish you all the best. We gone over the time allotted. I want to encourage you to remain focused and to understand the mission. We're on a journey. And I think, Zoe, you want to close out the program? Zoe, you want to close out the program? Yes, so that's my new hostess. You take it from my ears? Yes. So you're not going to sleep? No. Huh? No. Why? Oh boy. You know, Zeli was not as aggressive as Zoe. And those who started off with me in radio and doing my podcast, you would appreciate what I'm saying. Remember, Zoe used to always be in the studio, but she was quite modest. All right, very quiet, laid back somewhat. But Zoe is a different co-host, or my host, my. Well, Zoe, you eating the cricks? Yes. Yeah. So, folks, I want to wish you all the best. Good, good night. Good night. And take care. All right.